Welcome to preseason with Rolling Start. My goodness.
We're here.
We're weeks away from the beginning of the 2025 Formula One season in our new studio.
I know, right?
Three
James,
seasons in.
can I just say, for anyone who's watching the video of this, you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
This was all you. I had nothing to do with any of this.
You did bring the microphones.
I did bring the mics.
Yeah.
I forgot them tonight. I had to drive back to my house. Thankfully, we don't live too far away. But you drilled straight into concrete.
You know, I told my wife that there's a reason why I have all this leftover motorcycle parts.
Stuff? Just motorcycle parts, yeah.
Yeah, I crashed a lot of motorcycles, so I just kind of kept some spare parts. And there was always a reason, and this was it, Ben. It was you and me.
This is literally it. Well, it looks fantastic. I'm excited to be in a new space.
It's going to be good. We just had the F175 event.
Your opinion of the event in a sentence?
Hubris.
Okay, I like that. Mine in a sentence is I liked it way more than I thought I would.
Oh, you said sentence. I thought you meant a word.
No, a sentence.
Oh, yeah. Hubris, but I loved it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I went into it being like, this is going to be like Eurovision 2.0, and I'm not going to like any of this.
Right.
And I was starting to get defensive about F1. I was starting to get one of those like, F1's better than this. Let's just freaking go racing. We don't need this pomp and circumstance. And then by the end of it, I freaking have my little camera out and I'm waving it. And we can rule the world.
No.
And I was just like, let's go.
I can't believe you loved that part.
I'm into cheesy.
The take back was
music.
The worst. The music performances were unique.
They were. That was the only one I really cared for. The other ones I was like, this is not my vibe.
Yeah.
But they closed it out okay. So each team, well, first off, all of the teams in one building, all of the drivers in one building.
Yes.
Kind of a feat. I mean, the only things they show up for collectively are the races.
Right.
So I was pretty impressed F1 actually pulled this off.
Yeah. And keep in mind that every single one of the teams, every single one of the drivers, they only have a certain amount of non-race weekend days that they can pull the drivers in on based on their contracts. And so they all were in London together for that time. That took away from them being able to see the fat cats somewhere down the road in Vegas or something like that.
Yeah. I think Max's deal was, I'm only going to be there if I don't have to speak at all. And he got what he wanted.
Do you think that was Max's deal, or do you think that...
Yes, I do. I think Max was like, I'm not coming unless I literally don't have to say anything. And I can just wave and smile and act like I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
That's my thought on Max. Each team, though, they reveal their cars. Some dialed it in.
Mm-hmm.
Some brought a new livery.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to start with the first cars that were revealed and go all the way to McLaren. So I have a sentence for every car.
Okay. I love that.
And their reveal. So Kick. They're the first ones to go. My sentence is hustling all the way to F2. Because they're like, we're going to hustle harder. And I'm like, you're going to...
If you do anything at all this year, that's better than what you did last year.
Did the English translator not like tell you those two words don't really sound great together? The drum line, a little militaristic. I'm like, not really into it. Not terrible energy to start off. They did have to kick things off, as it were.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that they're going to be in P10 again. And so it was one of those things where, everything they were saying, I'm like, no one believes any of this. No. We don't believe it. You certainly don't believe it. You're hustling harder, whatever. Okay. So, wasn't crazy about it.
I think for Kick, the thing that I liked was I did like the drum line. Like I did like the green. I'm just a sucker for that kind of like Daft Punky,
a little Daft
like
Punk.
Cyberpunk video game esque, that like black with the neon green. Like that was super cool. My problem was then the car came out and I was like, what happened to the livery halfway down the side of it? Because it was this like fade into black, but really it was this fade into like a hard line of black. And then it just changes to carbon. And I was like, dear Lord, what did they do? I thought it was cool that they made the front like more green than last year, which I didn't even think was possible.
They made some changes.
The front is completely green, and so it really will look like a totally different car coming at you from track than when it goes like by and when you're watching it go ahead. Yeah, man. You just feel for them because it's like, how do you really? It's like tinfoils and fish hooks for earrings. It's just not a great look.
No, it's not a great look. And it's just tough again to kick things off and to realize, like, I mean, there's part of me where I'm like, what are these guys doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what? They're one of these teams.
You should go on a sabbatical for like a year.
You should just leave. Like, sometimes drivers like retire. Just the whole team retire, figure your stuff out, and then come back.
Exactly.
When you figure it out. We're going to rate these.
Yes. So
1 to 10.
1 to 10, 10 being the best.
10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What is your score for Kick?
6 out of 10.
Okay.
I thought they were definitely not the worst.
They weren't the worst.
I thought they made better changes than their better changes to the livery. And to me, they're still like, it's not a boring car. I like the way it looks. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think if your car sucks, your livery might as well be fun.
Yeah. I'm going to give them a 4 out of 10.
Brutal.
Yeah,
Ben.
I know.
Brutal.
And that probably says more about how I feel about them as a team.
Yeah, I think so.
In F1. But it all
surprised you did it to Hulk, man. You love Hulkenberg.
I love Hulk. Oh. But it all kind of blends together, how I feel about the team and the presentation.
Right.
So Kick, 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Let's go Williams. What are your thoughts for Williams?
And Williams is
they leaned hard into James Vowles' decaf tea drinking vibes.
Williams is interesting to me because they just still feel so corporate. It does not feel like an F1 team to me.
Interesting.
Okay. The color alone just like screams Old Navy.
The blue.
Like it's like Banana Republic. It's just kind of like get your chinos, your boat shoes, put a polo on.
Yeah.
And like, let's go get wild this weekend. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that really feels wow about their car. James Vowles coming out, like sauntering out was out of control for me. Like I was like,
what do you mean out of control?
This is not you, dude. Like, what are you doing?
I loved it.
No.
I freaking loved it.
He technically nailed like every part of it. He didn't use any filler words. He didn't make any like bum things, but it just felt like domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
But I mean, okay, so you're not crazy about it. I was ready to be like, I'm disappointed with Williams. Last year they fell apart. I don't know how I feel about Sainz going to Williams. We talked about that last week. And literally, good old Jimmy V comes out. Sauntering out. They've got the, Can't Stop Me Now, What's Up Danger? And I'm like, well, really, Williams, this is your song? And then he comes out and I'm like,
is Williams back?
Is Williams back? And then it's like they introduce their two drivers and everyone goes nuts. And I'm like,
yeah.
Boy, there's some energy here.
Yeah.
And Williams reminds me if like the TV show The Office was an F1 team.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
Literally, that's what I think.
It's Dunder Mifflin. It is
the Dunder Mifflin.
That's what their
team.
livery gives to me. It's Dunder Mifflin.
Like I couldn't describe it. But here's the thing though. The drivers come out and Sainz is out there and I'm like, he kind of looks good.
Well, that was the irritating part. Like their race suits look awesome. Their car looks like it was asleep.
And the two of them together looked great. Like, Albon and Sainz. I was like, okay. Yeah.
But the livery, Ben, what did you think of
it's hard
the livery?
To parse these things out. I mean, not crazy about the blue. They added a couple more like sponsor decals or whatever. I want them to do something different. I just don't know if that's them.
Yeah.
Like I want their livery to be more poppy, more extreme, maybe a different shade of blue. There's probably a lot of like legalese why that shade of blue is Williams. So yeah, I wasn't crazy about the livery, but I love the jumpsuits.
I think Williams has done what I really did like about their car reveal was the historic video attached to it, because Williams has done some bonker stuff, and we have some of the coolest liveries on Williams cars in history. And then now it's just this blue blob, with Atlassian down the side. Did you know that Atlassian was their sponsor? Atlassian's their sponsor. Atlassian,
I didn't before now.
Atlassian Williams, Atlassian. It was like they're very excited about it.
They are.
And the only thing I liked about it was the Duracell battery, which is just the smartest airbox in the world.
Yeah. You wish that some of these teams that have some history would go back to a redesign of an old livery.
Yeah, like
why not?
Yeah,
like resurrect.
No one can make any good new movies anymore, so they just go remake old ones. That's what they should do with liveries.
They should. What is your rating for Williams? What's up, Danger?
It's a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, 4 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to swap you. I liked it. It's a 6 out of 10 for me.
Wow. Man,
because
we can't agree on anything.
Because Jimmy V is he's coming out. And
That's not the livery.
He's
talking about the car.
It's the presentation. It's the whole thing. And he's swaggering. And he's kind of doing his thing. And I'm like, look at this guy.
Jimmy V does not swagger.
He was swaggering, which was surprising, but he was, or he's attempting at it. I liked it.
Can't stop me now.
And I was like, is Spider-Man going to jump out of like the ceiling or something? It's going to be the animated Spider-Man though. Okay, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls.
10 out of 10.
No.
Freaking loved it. I loved it. I am obsessed with it.
Hated it.
Oh my gosh.
I hated their presentation.
Oh, well, no, the presentation was shocking. I just skipped straight to the livery. I'm so excited about the livery. The livery is my favorite.
Combining it all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no,
Well, talk about the livery. What do you like about the livery?
Everything.
I don't mind the livery. I actually think it's
every
not bad.
part of it. I love the tiny little blue bulls at the back. I like the fact that the car's white.
Yeah.
I like the big Red Bull on top. Like, I love that they're not trying to hide the fact that they're a Red Bull team anymore. Yeah. Like, they're fully embracing it.
Yeah, the Bulls are there.
The Bulls are fully there.
In plural, they're racing.
Yes.
Plethora of bulls.
Many of their racing bulls made it onto the car. and
I love it.
Racing bulls. It's so fun looking. My favorite was Isaac Hadjar's face as he's revealing it. He's like, oh! He's like, I've never seen it. Ah! Like, I don't think he actually seen it. Like, he was so into it. Yeah. And then Yuki was like, I haven't seen it. They didn't let me see it until now. Yeah. And it looked awesome. No. Every part of it.
No, the livery was great. I liked the video leading up to the presentation where they're in London and they're just trying to get, and that was fun, and that was like a tongue-in-cheek way to just be like, yeah, we know our name is the worst. I thought their presentation though as a team was really flat.
100%.
Super flat. I'm like,
we want to be a platform. I'm like, bro, I was like, what are we talking about right here? And like, for artists and for brand, I'm like, dude, what are we talking about?
And then like their team principal is like, it's like he's reading off one of those like inspiration pictures you see in an office that has like the quote on the bottom. And I was like, what is going on?
So it's like onboarding at a company, like HR is going through the values of the company and everything. And you're just kind of like,
like, guys, whatever. Read the room. You're in the O2. So the presentation is super flat. I did appreciate delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 out of 10.
10.
10.
10. I can think of nothing wrong with it. I think it's fun. I think it looks awesome.
It's a nice look. Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of like, it's what we need on the track. Like, you have certain teams that have these iconic liveries right now. Like, Red Bull's not going to change their livery.
No.
It's worked. It's going to keep working. Like, McLaren's not going to change their livery. It's worked. It's going to keep working. Mercedes, not going to change anything.
No.
They're like, and then you have this V-carb come out. It looks like it's on fire. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
They just Katnissed it from like Hunger Games, dude, when her dress catches on fire. Like, they really, to me, like, their livery stole the whole show.
Yeah, no, livery was great. I'd give a livery like a 9. Presentation was like a 3. I thought that as a team, I was like, the video before was funny, but that you weren't in it. It was someone else making fun of your name. As soon as like the 4 of you were up there, I was like, what is your brand?
Yes,
right now?
They're
This
lacking personality.
Yeah, the personality and the brand was lacking for me.
I mean, and it's not really fair they had Liam and Danny last year.
Oh my
and
God,
so like
know.
you know, they just would have put Danny's smile on the stage this year if they
People
still
would have
had
went
him.
nuts.
Exactly.
I think he was in one of their videos, or like, wait, was it him in one of their videos or someone else? I was like waiting for him to show up. But yeah, if he was on stage, people would be losing their mind.
But they don't have that, and so they had to go
don't.
with that funny video, and it was funny. And then the guy was funny. He said, "Get your little legs over here, Yuki," or whatever. Like
He made
was
a big
funny.
deal about it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
kept referencing
Well, because
how
I think
short.
they were just going really slow. Like they were taking forever.
Yeah.
Too. So
One of the producers is probably like, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up!"
Yeah. We're gonna cut you. We're gonna cut you.
All right. So Visa Cash App, Racing Bull. I want to say Raging Bulls, but that's not it. We go to Haas. The American team. Kane Brown.
Kane Brown.
Can I start with this one? Kane Brown's nice. I like Kane Brown. Here is my thought on the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to delivery second. The presentation felt to me like a European's idea of an American like presentation. And I get it. They're an American team.
Yeah.
But there's still obviously it's F1. Like not everyone on the team is American. But like their video, I was like, this feels like someone who doesn't live in America is like, yeah, what are the things we need to put in the video? And like this and that. And so it just felt like, and Kane Brown's, his piece of it was nice. Wasn't crazy about the presentation.
Nice.
It was nice. The livery, I liked it.
Wow.
I actually I thought it was a step up from last year. It was darker. I appreciated that. And so definitely I like the livery a lot more than I liked it last year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I can see where you're coming from. I do think when it came to Haas, like this is the first year where I've been proud to call them the American team. And I think there's a few things there. Like I do think they could have, maybe asked the Haas NASCAR team to do their American video, and it probably would have been better than.
I was just like, can we get Matthew McConaughey? Y'all are based in Texas. Can we have
yes,
just lean into
real,
Texas, lean into
America, like go stereotypical,
like Johnny Cash, just something that's not like a bunch of scenic Golden Gate.
That was the thing for me is that
Statue of Liberty. I'm like, okay.
If you're gonna say you're the underdog, like that, the whole presentation video, it was missing the grit of America.
I just wanted that.
Yeah,
I wanted
some grit.
Grit.
Yeah,
we
didn't get that.
No.
But I did like the car livery. I'm gonna rank it.
Go.
It was still a 6 for me.
Okay.
It didn't wow me. I think there's only so much you can do with black and white. And
there's some red in there.
I think it was, I did think it was clean. It looks like they've gotten some new sponsors, which was cool. But I think overall, I was looking for something a little bit more from them. But they've, I really like some of their older liveries, like when they first came onto the scene. Those are super cool. But this one just feels a little safe. And you didn't really make a name for yourself with this livery. Like, why are we holding so close to this black, white, and red?
Yeah, that's a great question. Livery for me, I liked it better than last year. I actually liked it, I think, the best of any of their liveries. So I'm gonna go 7.
Wow.
Yeah,
solid.
But the presentation I didn't really care for though.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been more underdog, more grit. It was kind of we're the American team and this and that. And they kept going to the shot of Magnussen when he accidentally got qualified first in Brazil. I was like, guys, there was torrential hurricanes that were flooding through, which is the only reason he won. But they kept going back to the shot. I'm like, you didn't arrive. You're still fighting. You're still the underdog.
Context
you're still
is
fighting.
King. Yes.
So let's just lean into that.
Yes.
Let that be your thing.
We're not giving up. They should have done cutscenes. So we're coming in and we're expecting to be in P10 last year, and then just all of the points wins that they did last year.
Yes.
I would have been way more inspired by that.
Yes.
What could we do this year?
Yes.
And who knows? Maybe nothing. But still, I would have been a better presentation than trying to make me think, oh, did I forget that they won a few races? No.
It was the highlights were them racing other midfield teams.
Exactly.
I was like, guys, okay. So yeah.
Oh, no. The worst part of their video was when they said "and old rivals," and it was a Red Bull overtaking a Haas around a corner. And I was like, guys,
no,
That's like free practice one for sure.
You were never.
That's not a rival. Red Bull has never considered you a rival.
Someone had to dig deep in the archives for that.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm excited. The American team, and we'll see where they end up. Let's go to Alpine.
Oh, Alpine.
I'll let you start. I have so many thoughts.
Man.
Namely, I hate them, but please go.
Alpine. Oddly, I didn't mind Alpine.
I just kept thinking of DOS sound machine.
Yeah. No. Okay. I hated the presentation.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The presentation was
later.
0 out of 10.
I was like, what is going on?
I was like, bro, who is this mid 40-year-old with a wig on the stage?
He's the guy that
did the F1
theme.
song.
I was like, can't you just play the F1
I was like, why didn't you just come out here and DJ the F1 theme?
I'm like, DJ, I'm like, don't you just like press play?
And like, bro, they're doing close-ups of his hand spinning nothing.
I was like, the
guy was like, he's on pushing, nothing. I'm like, bro. And it was so long. I was like, dude, this is long. So long. Why did you use your entire 7 minutes for this?
Here's what I thought when I was listening to the presentation. I was like, okay, someone at Alpine forgot a due date. And then it was like, oh crap, we got to fill 7 minutes. So let's have a 5-minute DJ. And we'll like throw the guy who did the F1 theme just for like novelty's sake. Not that any of us know who that is.
No.
And just have him dance around on stage as his song's playing. And then we'll like quick do like a 30-second like Alpine's back. Okay. And then we'll come out. It just felt like no thought went into it. When you compare the presentation to, I don't know, Ferrari or like anyone else or like even Williams where there's some history.
Bro, like, even nothing.
Literally, I was like, guys, what is this? You got a dude dancing for 5 minutes on the stage. So yeah, 0 out of 10. I do love the F1 theme, but I was like,
I do love the F1 theme, but that wasn't the F1 theme. That was like something about dreaming. I was like, dude, and plus I already don't like that. I'm just not an EDM guy anyway.
I'm not either.
I was just confused.
Yeah. The livery though. What do you think about their livery?
I thought it was pretty cool.
It was better.
Yeah. I liked the different usage of pink and blue.
Did they like invert the colors?
I don't know if they inverted, but it was more subtle, which I liked. Yeah. It felt more intentional. Last year, it just kind of felt like, oh, crap, we're going to get this logo on the car. Someone go get a sticker and throw it on there.
Yes.
This year, it felt like it was properly placed.
Yes.
It felt like it was well thought out. Like, it doesn't excite me. Like, it's in the realm of, like, it's a little bit more exciting than Williams. It's a little bit more exciting than Haas. Like, but it's kind of them. It's middle of the road. So it's a 5 for me.
Yeah. I liked it better than last year. And there was a moment where I was like, oh, I'm surprised. Mm-hmm. And so that for me was like a 6. I was like, okay, I expected you to be lower because I can't stand the dysfunction of your team. And this presentation was off to a terrible start, but it was like a, so 6.
I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't either. And I mean, do you remember the years past where it was like all pink, like ridiculous amounts of pink? And so they figured that out. Figured out how to incorporate that in a better way.
Yeah, I agree. I still don't know if we're going to expect much from them this year, but
no,
car looks better.
The car looked better. Aston Martin. What are your thoughts? Did they succeed with the presentation first? Did they succeed with the James Bond?
No,
vibe?
Dude. It felt so like, number one, it looked like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah,
like it
really
was
bad.
Embarrassing.
If you're gonna go for it, like
go for it.
Go
dude.
for it.
And the DRS flap on the back of the mini jet ski boat jet thing was super weird.
Yeah.
And then they're up in the audience in their suits that they weren't even matching ones from the video. Like, dude, what are we doing?
No, it was, I keep thinking back to like the opening for Skyfall, the James Bond movie.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, you could have just done that. Like, just riff off of that kind of like art aesthetic.
Yes. And that song.
And just get Adele in here. My God. Like, and so like the song that they picked was really kind of sleepy. I didn't really think it had a whole lot of energy. Like, it was nice.
Thames, the girl who was singing.
Yeah, no, it was nice because it like there was an orchestra piece and like it wasn't a bad song.
It just classy. It definitely felt classy.
Kind of sleepy to me. I was like, if you get like some Skyfall energy where it's still like that, but you got like a you got to drive to it.
Yes,
Like there's
exactly.
some energy to it.
Yeah.
So that was the part where like I thought it was a swing and a miss for the presentation for what they were going for. Like you got money, you could have went and actually leaned into this genre, this James Bond genre, and it just was a swing and a miss for me.
Yeah.
Livery though.
See, I was wondering why I didn't like it as much. And so I did a little search, and the year before, it wasn't last year's had a longer yellow stripe, and it was a little bit more simple. And I was like, no, that's not it. And then I went back to like basically the first era
when they first went to Aston,
and it was pretty much all green, all British Racing green, and it just looked incredible,
sexy.
It looked like James Bond. Like it looked like that elegant Aston Martin vibe, and I think they've kind of just lost it a little bit. Like the white on the top of the air intake, it's just kind of like there's too many sponsors, like largely placed all over the place. Like the yellow, and there's this color here and color there. It's just less of that kind of classic vibe. And I think if you're going to lean into that, then lean into it, or do a crazy livery. But you can't be somewhere in between. Honestly, if it wasn't because that green is just so iconic, the livery itself, if you were to take the color out, was very similar to like a Williams, an out, like that kind of boring, just here's our sponsors and a color. They're just lucky that green pops so much.
Yes,
because there wasn't much else to it.
No, it felt like a swing and a miss, kind of all around for me. I won't even get into Nepo Baby up there with Alonso. Seeing the two of them next to each other, I was like, how are these guys teammates? Alonso, such a class act.
Yep.
Such like knows how to lean into the moment, cheeky, just kind of
works
like
the crowd.
I mean, you know, strolls up there and like, yeah, she's a beauty, guys. Good job.
You did the best stroll.
I was like, did no one prep this guy and say, hey, you're gonna have like 5 seconds, just say something nice.
I guess we'll see if it kind of goes fast. She looks good.
I was like, oh my God. So that made me angry all over again.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have so much
a whole season
rage
of
to go off because he's never gonna leave this sport until someone, kicks him out. But yeah.
So daddy sells
swing and a miss. Rating for the livery, 1 to 10.
7. Because as much as I didn't love it for the years past, I still think it looks like a really good car.
It's a great color. But for me, I'm gonna rate presentation and livery all in one go. I'm gonna say 5.
Ooh.
I just felt like it was a swing and a miss. And I felt like you've got, Daddy Warbucks over here who can spend money. If you're gonna lean into James Bond, let's freaking lean into James Bond.
Yeah.
So bummer for me, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Wow, you're really a presentation guy. I'm realizing
I am. This is a presentation. It's F175. We're only watching this because you're freaking presenting something. We're gonna pause from liveries, and I'm gonna ask you, F1 movie. What did you think?
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I am so excited.
I'm like, this is like Fury too. Brad Pitt, his character's going to die. We already know that. There's a scene of a car on fire in the woods.
I didn't know that.
Dude, at the very end, you see, obviously it's not Brad. It's his partner who's running to this burning car. People are like, oh my God. Brad's either going to
either dies or he goes Romain Grosjean and just like comes out with burned hands. And
I think it's going to be Fury 2.0.
Man, I love
where
Fury.
It's like, God, Fury, what a great movie. But it just looked like it captured it. It was like the spirit of F1.
Yes, 100%. The cameras, angles, the way they was spinning around, all of it was just insane. The fact that there's like Red Bulls and Ferraris racing them on the track, I was like, what is happening?
I was like, how did you pull this off? I mean, I was a little. First off, I love Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
I've seen so many of his movies.
Brad's a goat.
He's unreal. I was a little nervous. I'm like, Brad, you're like in your 50s. Like,
yes.
You're going to be an F1 driver. And then I saw it and I was like, I totally buy this.
Nailed it.
I buy this universe. It's just Alonso. Like, that's all it is.
Literally. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is Alonso.
Yeah, this is it. So I freaking loved it. And We got to go see it together. It's going to be fantastic.
100%. We'll get the boys together.
I think it's IMAX, I think.
Oh, I want IMAX, laser. I don't even know what all of the things are these days, but I want it all
of it.
How many times are we going to see it is the real question.
I believe it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So multiple times.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
All
I
right.
thought it was phenomenal. 10 out of 10 for the movie
10,
trailer.
11 out of 10.
11 out of
Crank
10. Turn
up to
all the
11.
way to 11. God, we're old.
Mercedes. You're a Mercedes fan.
I am a Mercedes fan.
What were you feeling? What were you thinking? A hammerless Mercedes. Presentation first. What were your thoughts about the presentation?
I thought the presentation was good. I think for Mercedes, I always feel like they're in a bit of like an identity crisis because they have Red Bull, which has really cornered the marketing of Formula One. Like they've just nailed it.
Yeah.
And then you have Mercedes, who's classic, and then they try to have an edge, and it just never really quite seems to work out. And it used to be okay when they were dominating, but now that they're not dominating, it just feels like they're the person that's kind of like holding their nose up a bit. But you're not better than anyone anymore.
No.
And so it just kind of fell. I guess I say all of that. It fell a little flat for me in the presentation wise.
Yeah.
It was cool to see Kimi and George up there. I still think there's robots controlling George somewhere else. Like it's a Wi-Fi direct link to him because he's just so robotic, and it's hilarious to me. Kimi just looked like he was along for the ride, man.
Yeah,
these rookies, man, it's so incredible.
He's a kid. Now, the presentation for me similar. I wanted more. There's like a pit crew that like went out there and awkwardly changed the tires.
Botched the front.
I was like.
Right tire,
I was
dude.
like, what you could have done is you could have done a really cool stylized pit stop where like you have the lights and like kind of like
they need flash. You for F176.
I'm telling you, man. But they could have done a really cool stylized pit stop where you're only seeing like kind of flashing bits of it.
Right.
But it was awkward. It was weird. I was like, this was stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have done it. Toto was having a hard time getting through whatever he was saying.
Yes.
And he was like getting distracted by the crowd. And I realized I was like, we'll get to Red Bull in a second, but I was like, Toto was getting distracted and couldn't like get through what he was saying. So presentation, it felt like it fell flat a bit. And their phrase was, every dream needs a team. I'm like, what are we, like Avengers Assemble? Like it just felt like we're the dream team. I'm like, yeah, you're still dreaming.
Every dream needs a
you're
team.
Still dreaming.
Yeah, you're in the dream phase, bro.
You're in the dream phase. You're not in the actually winning phase.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
So yeah, I feel like where you're at is a good summation of it. Where like they were good, and when they were good, it was like the Men in Black, and we're just dominating. And now it's like you've been bad for a while.
Exactly.
And this whole thing of like, okay, like you're dreaming again. Yay for you.
And then the livery is just kind of like, are we silver? Are we black? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I've never loved the little tiny star pattern across the back. And so when they brought, I was like, okay, that's still
It's the silver arrows, right? That's what it is?
Yeah, but the silver arrows is like the ode in the front where it's silver. And then in the back, it's not because it's black, because they want to also like do an ode to their dominant era, like that 2018, 19, 20, where they would just like that black heart just was bonkers.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it just feels a little disjointed to me. And then there were rumors that Ineos, which is one of the big owners along with Toto Wolff, of the Mercedes team, that they were exploring no longer being in Formula One. And then if you remember the airbox where it used to be red and say Ineos last year, this year it was white and it had no branding on it at all.
I didn't even notice that. Interesting.
And then they were the only ones that didn't do like releases after the fact with all of like their graphics and everything. Immediately. And so the word on the street is that Ineos is out, but it was a last minute decision. And so they just have this big old honking white blank airbox on the top of their car. And so it's just kind of like, maybe that's why Toto is all flustered for words, because he's losing like a 1/3 partner of Mercedes.
That'd be painful.
And it's kind of like, what's going on in the Mercedes camp?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the interesting thing to me. The car looks cool. It's like, whatever. Like, I'm a Mercedes fan, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And
oh my God. Not surprising. So typical.
I did Google where Toto got his suit from, because I feel like I'd look really good in that suit. But
you would. You're tall guy.
It was $12,000, so I decided against it.
All right. So you're 8 out of 10. I like black.
Yep.
I like black on a car.
Yep.
I think it just looks good.
Yep.
And it's Mercedes. I'm not a fan of the team, but I like the color. And so I'm going to go 7 out of 10.
Nice.
So again,
you're okay with the little like diamond pattern thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the presentation it felt, there was like awkward moments.
He winged that for sure. 100%, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He winged that. And it
He's
felt
backstage going, I know what to do. Don't.
Felt like the pit crew also winged it.
Yeah. I was like, man, Bottas came over as your reserve driver, and now your pit crew can't even do a flipping pit stop. Nope. Oh, it's all happening again.
Let's go Red Bull. All righty. What did you think about the presentation, the vibe, the energy, the brand? Thoughts?
Well, Christian Horner took the stage and got booed
the whole time,
which was actually shocking to me.
Why are you shocked?
I don't know. Why was he being booed?
Well,
do you think it's because of all of the drama?
He's in the UK.
Yeah. He's in the
Their press, I'm sure, is way more harsh on him.
Yeah.
Internally and domestically than maybe.
So you think it was
press.
The Me Too allegation vibe?
I think absolutely it was.
Okay.
And now here's the thing. He didn't wing it. Obviously, he had prepped because he was the only one in the Red Bull team who talked.
He also
at all.
Almost like lost it halfway through and then started to address the booing and then stopped himself.
Well, yeah, but he made like a comment like, hey, it's
and then
good
he
to be
just
here
stopped.
Too. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you just gotta push through, and you can't act like that is
you
actually
can't feed
happening.
the beast.
No. But I liked, and obviously I'm a Red Bull fan, but I liked their presentation. I liked kind of them being very true to their brand.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, F1's for everybody. Red Bull's for everybody. Like, big table, big tent, everyone's invited. We're all about car culture. We're all about like, the outsiders. We're about like that kind of, vibe.
Yeah.
And so I liked the video. I liked how they kind of brought all these different aspects of car culture in. And then I actually I'm not like this, thump gorilla twin parties, but like it was one of those moments where like when the car's coming in with Max and Liam and everyone, there was a certain energy to it. And I was like, this is Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like this is them. This is their brand.
I don't disagree with you. Oddly enough, I thought when Christian got up and what he said, I thought, oh, that's cool. And I got excited. I was like, oh, I wonder what this video is going to be. And then it cut to this video and it's like Liam working on a car and then like taking out from the factory and all these people joining in. Good looking guy. Max obviously wasn't going to do it in that video. He's like, I don't do filming days. And I thought that was really cool. The only part I didn't like is when they all came out on stage. I was like, wait, what are you all doing jumping around? What is happening?
There was just a certain energy to it, and it was true to form.
Yeah.
Red Bull is like, hey, this is who we are. This is who we've always been. And so I thought the only part that didn't really feel necessarily like Red Bull was Christian droning on for as long as he did. I kind of like
that could have been shorter.
Shorter, just be like, hey, great to be here.
Yeah.
We won a ton last year. Max won last year. We love cars, culture, and we brought everyone, just like something that's quick and peppy. But that felt a little corporate. And I'm like, that's not you.
That's not you.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he could have just stayed out of the whole thing.
Yeah. I did think that it was a power move for your drivers not to say anything and for the car to just end. And then literally the announcer come and go, Red Bull 2025 car. Let's hear it again for Red Bull 2025. And then it just cuts. And I was like, I love it.
I mean,
I love that.
I feel like it's a statement.
Yeah.
And Max is being
That's
like,
what Haas should have done. Haas should have done something viciously American. Sorry, I know we're not supposed to talk about Haas already.
all great. No, literally, it felt like this statement from Max. He's like, I'm here.
And you should be happy.
I won last year. I don't got to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. What's your rating?
I never loved the livery in the first place, and it didn't change. So, but I do think it is iconic, and I do somewhat like kind of that matte paint, the big Red Bull,
yeah,
all the way up to the airbox. So I'd go 7 overall.
I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. You would.
They're my team.
They're gonna lose this year. You know that, right?
You know, seeing Liam up there, I was like, I'm interested to see how this works. Like they looked good together as teammates. I was like, okay.
Jumping next to a car and waving to people.
No,
they look
he
good.
wasn't jumping. He was just waving. But no, the two of them, I was just like, okay, I can get used to this. It felt a little weird checking up being there, but I was like, okay, I can get used to this.
Who?
Anyone who watches this video is going to slay. You have every right to destroy him in the comments. Please do. Okay, moving on to...
Pause. We have to go back to Checo. He was in the F1 like celebration video, like pouring champagne all over himself. He was like, it was his face right in there. And I was like, a little soon, guys. Like, I wouldn't call him a historic figure yet.
I mean...
He could come back with Cadillac. The rumor is that him and Danny will drive for Cadillac, which would be a terrible choice for Cadillac, but
I mean, they would sell so much merch. All around the world.
Yes.
They would sell so much merch.
They'd have a terrible season, but they would sell a lot of merch.
That's all that matters. Let's go Ferrari, the Godfather. That's all I could think. I loved the presentation.
Loved it.
I loved just the history, and you're like, this is the Godfather.
The graphics, the cars, just the iconic red throughout the years.
There was a moment where the entire screen was red and it was just the emblem, and I was like, oh my
and it like switches into like a sketch and like all that. I loved it.
It was phenomenal.
Loved it.
It was
Ferrari knew how to do it. They're really tempting me, man. They're tempting me over to the red side.
As soon as I was watching it, I'm like, James, this guy.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Staying.
I thought the presentation was incredible. Their phrase, we belong to racing.
Yep.
I was like, this is how you do it, Kick. None of this hustle harder crap.
Yeah.
I was like,
or we dream together, we team together.
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
Is.
You know, every dream needs a team. I'm like, Mercedes, shame on you. Ferrari just like, it was this moment of like the truth.
Yes.
It's like, we are racing. We belong to racing. It was almost like it was
the biggest flex too, because you're in a building of the pinnacle of motorsport, and you're flipping saying is we are racing. I mean,
yes,
it is.
Yes, it was the best presentation of the night for me. I thought I legitimately was like, this is it. Like, this is how you do it. And none of this like dreamscape wonk with Alpine or like other. It's just, we belong to racing. It was romantic.
Yeah, it was definitely the second best car presentation of the entire night. It was because it would have been perfect if their car looked good.
It's Ferrari.
What do you mean it's Ferrari?
What didn't you like about the livery?
The giant HP logo in the white stripe.
HP is kind of ruining it, but you know how much money
kind of ruining it? I was okay when they stuck like the blue emblem on it last year.
I know.
It looks good. That's fine.
That's fine.
But the white stripe, and I'm about a white stripe. I mean, you know, the MP4, the Marlboro red and white is like the most iconic F1 car, in my own opinion.
Yeah.
But when you take a red Ferrari and you just put a white stripe on it so that you can have HP must be giving them an insane amount of money to be their title sponsor.
Well, also,
I already didn't like it when they introduced them as HP Ferrari.
Yes.
I was like, your logo looks like trash next to this prancing horse.
No.
Like, dude, like, what am I going to do? Like, take my printer to get it signed by Chuck.
Yeah, they have to be spending a butt ton of money to be on the jumpsuit,
front
the jumpsuit front center. I wish it was Ferrari front center.
Yes.
And HP can be like top right or something like
Yeah.
that. It's still just the red. I like the white stripe down the jumpsuit though.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. And seeing Hamilton
and red, man.
Chuck, I was like,
I did get excited.
There's something here. Now here's the thing. Chuck's been number one. Chuck's been their go-to guy. And in that moment, seeing him next to like greatness, and he's talking about how his dream is to, be a champion. This and that. I'm like, you do know who just joined the team, right?
You also, if at any point in time, forgot that you were watching something in the UK when Lewis Hamilton took the stage and the entire stadium erupted.
That man is a god.
In England, that man is a god.
He is. I mean, and you just realize like what he brings to any team he's a part of.
Yes.
And so for me,
Fred's smile when that happened was just.
I felt for Chuck though, because I felt in that moment he was diminished. I felt like, again, like not taking anything away from him, but it feels like he's gonna be George Russell to Hamilton, except like Hamilton he's the GOAT.
It's different. I don't know if he was diminished as much as he just realized, oh, I've never really been in this position before. Because even when Seb came in, or when he came in and Seb was there,
well, Seb was coming down and he was elevating.
Yeah,
they were passing each other like ships in the night, and Chuck was rising at that point, and Seb was declining, and so we don't know where Hamilton's at if he's going to decline.
The big thing, man.
So this is where we're at, but I think in that moment, seeing both of them on stage, it was this moment of like, wow, there's greatness on this team again.
For sure. It felt grand. It felt Formula One. And it literally, up until that point of the night, it went, oh, we just went up a level.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I was like, I don't know if this could like get topped.
It didn't.
Until McLaren came out.
Wait, you got to rate it real quick. 1 to 10. Ferrari.
7.
I'm going to go 9.
9? HP, dude.
And combining, I hate HP. They suck. I'm combining everything. I'm combining the presentation. I'm combining the livery. I'm combining Hamilton. It was a 9 for me. It was the best one of the night.
Yeah.
It went down from there. To your point, McLaren.
Down?
McLaren.
No way, dude. McLaren had. I didn't think you could get a better video until then the Ferrari one, and then the McLaren one came out, and I was like, dude, what is happening right now? And I knew it was going to be good because in between Ferrari and them, they did this weird cutscene to talk about the FIA, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and then we went to McLaren, and it's like the rich history. There's a level of like underdog that McLaren's had over the course of their history in comparison to like they were pretty much the original Red Bull of like shake up the F1 world.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like, Ayrton Senna's car and Prost and just like Lewis's 2007 Vodafone.
It was good.
It was
number 2.
Incredible.
Number 2.
Then, boom, the screen comes up and all of their iconic cars were on the stage. That was so incredible.
That was a great element. You know why it was the second best for me?
Why?
Because their design team just took the whole year off. They're like, yeah, no, we're not.
No,
we didn't change our livery at all.
You didn't look carefully. There were a few pixels somewhere.
We didn't change our livery because we won last year, so we're not going to change our livery. I'm like,
why would
you can enhance it? You can still bring something new to it.
There are some subtle changes. I get to your point, but there are some things. I think they tweaked it. But you can't say that to them and then not say that about your team.
About Red Bull?
Show me the last 5 years of their car, and I would struggle to see anything that's changed.
What's wrong with the McLaren? It's okay. Like I don't mind their livery.
Dude, it looks awesome.
I don't mind their livery.
Beauty is in the eye of me.
Yeah.
And
It's in the eye of the beholder. But I was just pissed. I was like, come on, change it. Like, do something.
Nah, it
Do
looks
something.
awesome. I love that they didn't change it.
The presentation was great. It was second best for me.
It's
I like
literally
Ferrari better.
only because the car didn't change.
Yeah.
And so you're saying
Huge knock for me.
Ferrari gets more because their presentation was better and they added a white stripe and an HP logo. But because they added something different to their car, they get a 9.
Well, Ferrari,
It can't just be the car.
it wasn't just they added things to the car.
You
Hamilton's
just
there. So it's like Ferrari's the greatest team of all time
oh my
with
gosh.
the GOAT, and you're just like, it was. And McLaren was just kind of like, yeah, we're here. We didn't really change the livery, and yeah, this is awesome. Like I appreciated the cars. That was fantastic. Video, great. Second best for me. Ferrari was a better. That's
Agree to disagree.
1 to 10, McLaren.
Like a 9.
I'll go 7.
7. I cannot.
It was the exact same freaking thing. I was like, guys, you're the champions. Like, come on. I get it. Tradition, all that stuff. Okay.
It's also an awesome livery. Like, you don't need to change it too much.
I still want a change. I want something. I want you to bring something new.
According to everything that's going on this week, the cars have been changing quite a bit.
How so?
Well, Ferrari switched from pull rod to push rod suspension.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, well, I guess we should start with this. Some of the press around the event was interesting to me because it was very clear to me that everybody's putting the target on McLaren's back for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And so everyone's talking about their car. They're like, yeah, we're just going to see how we are going to compare to McLaren. We got to catch up to McLaren. We got to catch up to McLaren. It was pretty close at the end of last season.
It was pretty close.
Like, it wasn't, especially after their little DRS cheeky little thing got removed.
Mm-hmm.
It was really close.
Yeah, this isn't like Red Bull from 2 years ago when everyone's like, well, we're screwed. Like,
yeah, literally.
This was, a lot closer.
Yeah. So I guess that leads me to my question for you, Ben. The 2025 season, what should we expect?
Going into F175, I wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like, God, let's just get this season on. Why do we need this? After watching F175, I'm like, this is going to be a year like we haven't seen yet. There's so many new faces.
Yes.
There's some mix up at the biggest teams. And there's still some stability with the others. But this is going to be a year that feels a bit unprecedented.
Yeah.
Even as it's the tail end of the regulations.
Yes.
So it feels like there's all this newness, all this energy, all these new faces coming into the sport, while at the same time it being the last year that we've got these regs. And so I think it's going to be out the gun. We're going to have, I'm hoping, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, I'll throw Mercedes in there, all vying for races in Australia. Like, that is where we should pick off.
Yes.
That's where we should pick up, is we were seeing those teams go at each other at the end of the season last year. We should be picking up there.
Exactly.
We didn't really change the regs or the cars that much. It's incremental changes. So, and then we've got all these new rookies, and we've got rookies at the biggest teams now.
Yep.
Mercedes and Red Bull both have rookies.
Yes.
And so how is that dynamic going to impact their performance, how they show up,
100%.
How they're getting points. So I think it's going to be one for the record books.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's going to be an insanely competitive year. And I also think simultaneously it's going to be a setup year, because with all these rookies and all of these drivers where they are, it's really going to leave us on the edge of our seat for what 2026 could bring with the regulation changes. It's going to be crazy. Like, the last few races of the season, we had Haas popping into the top 10.
Oh, we did.
We had Williams qualifying up there. We had all of these mid-pack teams
We had Alpine get a second and third on the podium.
Something crazy could happen in the first part of 2025.
Yeah, there's unpredictability.
Yes.
Because you have new folks.
Great way to put it.
Unpredictability is fantastic for F1.
Yes. Who do you think the biggest flop for 2025 is going to be?
As a team or as a driver?
As a team. The biggest team flop in 2025.
I'm going to go Alpine.
Okay, so you think Alpine will be the biggest team flop. Why?
I think Haas will take it to them. And if they lose to Haas, that will be detrimental for them.
Yeah.
So I think Haas, they've got the bear. He went out, got points. He's had his struggles, but he's still a solid driver.
Yep.
They've got Ocon, a race winner. Ocon. I don't like him, but like he can get points, and they feel like they're on the rise.
Yeah.
Alpine,
they got the momentum.
Alpine, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
At the very end, they kind of like stabilized a bit.
Right.
But I am not expecting to be impressed by Alpine, and I am expecting to be impressed by Haas.
Interesting. Okay.
How about yourself?
I think the biggest flop of 2025 is going to be Aston Martin.
They were my second choice.
I think the only reason why they ended where they did last year is because they had such a strong start to this previous year. If they come out the gate floundering like they were last year, I think they will go below Alpine. I think Haas could even take them.
That's quite possible.
V-Carb could possibly take them, and they could be at the bottom of the field because Alonso can't drag that entire team up when it's going to be as competitive as it will be this year.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see the crazy dominance at the front of the field.
Absolutely not. No, they're going to get boxed out. There's 4 teams that are better. Mm-hmm. That's 8 podium positions. And if they are struggling the way that they struggled, especially with the fact that other teams can grab those extra podiums.
Yes.
Alpine can grab it. Haas can grab it. RB can grab it. Like, there's 3 other teams who can score points.
Yes.
And so Aston they've got to get pace.
Yes.
But we're at the end of the regs. Like, are they really going to drag that much more pace out of that car? And they're flying essentially with one wing.
Exactly.
Because of Nepo baby. So, I agree. Oh, my question for you, who do you expect to be surprised by as a driver, not a team, this year?
I expect... Oh, man, that's a tough question.
It's a tough one. There's a lot of drivers.
Who do I expect to be surprised by?
Yes.
I expect to be surprised by Ollie Berman. I think even though he had some great performances last year in F1 cars.
He did.
I still think he's underrated in the field. Like, I still think people are looking to Kimi, and I still think people are looking to Liam like, oh, this is where the fire is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, of course, they're in cars that probably have a higher ability. But I think we are not going to see a large gap between Ollie and Ocon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I think what's cool about Ollie is that he's coming into a seat right next to, yes, an experienced driver who's never driven that car before.
Absolutely.
Never been in that team before.
Yeah.
And is used to bigger teams and has personality traits that probably don't lend towards
being
at small teams. I imagine he'd be a drama queen. And so Ollie's coming from F2 where you have your dad and a bag of gaff tape to get you by every weekend. And he's going into a Formula One team and he's going to be like, whoa, I have so much support. Yeah. And it's a great place to cut your teeth. Like, Haas is an incredible place to cut your teeth.
Yeah.
And so, I think he's going to be the big surprise. What about you?
I'm hesitant to say this because I don't want to jinx it. I expect to be surprised by Liam Lawson.
Gosh, you are ambitious.
There's something about this guy. And I'm scared for him. I am scared he will get chewed up and spit out. But there's this part of him where I'm like, I think he might be able to handle it where the others couldn't. I think he may actually be able to do this and pull it off and be that second Red Bull driver.
Yeah. I mean, based off of the fact that he gave Sergio Perez the finger last year while driving around the track, I mean, he's got some grit in him.
I mean, he's got some grit, and I just seeing him on stage next to Max, I'm like, this kid could do it.
Yeah,
he could succeed where everyone else has failed.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to be surprised. Will I? I don't know.
Right.
But I am optimistically expecting to be surprised.
Yeah, he's got a tough battle because he's got to perform and he's also got to make money.
He does,
because Sergio brought a lot of money into Red Bull.
Yeah,
and they're going to feel that doubly so if Liam does not perform. It's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. Let's close it out.
Close it out.
I'm gonna ask you, how did you think, or what did you think about the musical performance that closed out the whole night? Take that.
Here's my thing about F175 that bugged me.
Yes.
I'm just realizing that this is so American because
go for it.
You have all the money in the world.
You do.
I can tell that by the size of that LED box you put down and then the 500-foot LED wall behind it and the lights and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And the stage that rose up out of the ground. You have all the money. Why did you not pick some of the biggest acts in the world to come and perform at this thing? I hadn't heard of that. I don't even know. Take that.
Apparently they had 50 number one singles.
Yeah.
Maybe in like the UK.
In the UK only. Like, were they Simon Cowell's first find? I don't understand. But like, if you know who everybody knows? American stars. Because we're just the best at pomp. We're the best at faffing about and going over the top. And if you're going to put on an event like that, then get some like real American talent. Like I loved the country singer they had.
Kane Brown.
Yeah. No Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
No Carrie Underwood.
True.
Like, what could we do if we just put a little bit more effort into the talent?
Do you think F1 was kind of putting the finger to America and being like, this isn't an American sport. This is a British sport, so we're going to have British stars.
But it's not a British sport. It's a global sport.
You know who they could have had? U2.
100%.
Coldplay.
Anyone that's actually
UK
worth their
bands
salt.
for you. They could have had Ed Sheeran. Right? Like,
it's the literal when those three dudes came out on the stage, I was like, bro, who was like, oh, we need to give him a go. We need to give him a chance. It's been a while.
Here's the thing. I agree with every single thing you're saying as I'm getting passionate about this. And when they started like singing, I was the same way. I'm like, who the heck are these guys? But I'm a sucker for that kind of music.
For that music.
And so I was like,
I love this.
Yeah.
And then they rose up on the stage. I literally skipped it. And I was like, this can't possibly be the end. This
I like
can't
rewatched
be the
it.
End. Oh my gosh.
But like, there's a part of me that's just a sucker for stuff like that. But I'm also like, there's some other like huge UK art, bands that if you want to stay true to like, F1 is like a British, Eurocentric sport.
Which it is.
You could have picked some bigger UK artists.
I'm going to stick with my guns. Just UK art. You know who loves Americans? Everyone. Except for a few select countries and even Stan. We are loved by
I don't know if we're loved by everyone.
Who loves The Rock? Everyone loves The Rock. everyone in Italy, everyone in France, everyone in the UK. They all love The Rock. We have American stars. Exactly. We have American stars. Maybe they can't afford them. I doubt it. Maybe they didn't ask him quick enough. I'm just saying. I don't think this is the last time we see what we saw at F175. They sold an arena out.
Annual thing.
It's going to become an annual thing.
Yeah.
Because they made a ton of money. And I pray to God the next one's in America.
The real F1 fans.
Because we'll do it right.
Pissed.
Dude, do it at the Sphere. Do it at the Rose Bowl. Do it.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, that's 92,000 people. I don't think they'd be able to do that or something. But that's crazy.
That is nuts.
Do it somewhere. Super cool.
Do it somewhere. Well, F175.
Fun.
It was here. It's over.
Good night.
Let's go racing.